Let's talk about what it takes to get the photo booth set up in under 10 minutes. First thing we're going to do is get the poles out, and while I'm kneeling here on the floor, I'm going to try to assemble as much as I can without moving, so there's not a lot of wasted time walking from one corner to another, standing up, sitting down. We can start by assembling some basic poles, and while we're on the ground, adding the pieces that are already close by. Next, we'll get the feet set up. You can do that by pulling them out and putting the feet attachments on while they're still right next to you. This will save you time from moving them around a lot. Again, I'm still on the floor. I haven't stood up yet. I am adding the poles. Now, I could have left that closer to myself. That probably would have saved a couple seconds. And it's all about time efficiency because you don't know what kind of problems you might run into inside the software. So it's always good to be done 30 minutes before. Even though you give yourself 45 minutes to an hour, you can literally do this in 8 minutes. Now you can see how I plugged that into the base and pushed it over without having to move. I'm still in the same spot. The center pole has 4 sections, so you know it's different. It's the taller one. A lot of people will need a chair or a stool for this, so keep that in mind. Grab one if you need it, or pull one from the venue somewhere. This place did not have a chair, so it was good that I brought a stool with me. Here we are, 2 minutes in, the frame is assembled. Now I'm going to start working on the photo booth. Setting the printer down gently so the box doesn't break. Getting the case nearby so I can access everything quickly. The bench will be useful in a minute. First, we'll get these printer shelves on. You can remove these bolts quickly by spinning them with your hand. Now the printer shelf is assembled, we can start working on the flash. Remember not to pull the bolt out on the bottom of the flash. You only want to loosen it enough that you can get over the top holder, and you can turn it to go into the hole on top of the photo booth so that you can twist it tightly. Then reach inside, grab the wing nut, and tighten it firmly. Plug in the flash sync, and the flash needs to be powered. Add your umbrella. Now I've turned on the computer so that it can start its setup process. Even though it's not plugged in yet, it's still got battery power, and it can start its process of booting. Now that we've added power, it's now charging up. Carefully remove the printer using my feet to hold the plastic case in place while lifting it out. Adding the power and sync cable to the printer, which should already be turned on. We heard a beep, so we know that it's working. Check the front of it to make sure there's a green light. Tightening the flash to make sure that all of the bits are firmly attached and it's not going to be moving around a lot. Tightening it from the bottom. And we're going to tidy up the space because there's people walking around, coordinators, venue people, your clients. They don't want to see a big messy space in their venue. Now when we put the backdrop on, we start with the opposite side that we're going to use. They want this pretty blue one, so we're going to put the disco one forward, hanging down, and as we pull it over the top, it will switch to be the correct side. I've got exactly 45 degrees at the top. I pulled it down the other side about 10 to 12 inches, just enough to hold, and then I can get this one to hold as well. Give it a little extra space, and then we can go back and forth a couple of times to get it fully pulled over the top and down to the bottom. It takes about 1 minute to add this. You don't need to ask for a friend. You just need a chair and a clamp. Total time to get the backdrop up was about 4 minutes. Now let's go ahead and add our template. This one called for the standard template. So in the new menu, it's called Print Layout instead of Template. Google Drive, reusable assets, standard template, 600 DPI. Now one thing I forgot to do here was to print 2 per page. Make sure you check that. And now we're going to check to make sure the exposure is good. And it is. There we go. Let's see. 8 minutes, full setup.